So welcome back to my subscribers and to my visiting friends. Today I'm going to be making a special holiday pastry dish. It's called coconut bread or sweet bread as we call it in the Caribbean. I'll be using none other than the coconut. Good old coconut that you can find maybe at your grocery store. I'm going to show you how I prep this and turn it into a pastry dish that your family will totally love. It's one of my husband's favorite holiday treats. So you're gonna get the recipe if you stay tuned. Okay, so the coconut is ready to be broken. You will break it into pieces like this and take it out of the shell. Once out of the shell, go ahead and cut it into small pieces. As an alternative, you can use the store-bought shredded coconut, but I prefer to use it this way. That way it'll have the consistency that's needed for the bread. Place the shredded pieces in the blender and cover with water. Then go ahead and blend to a fine consistency. Once blended, go ahead and transfer into another bowl. You want to drain the liquid and save it for later on because we're going to use that milky water to mix our dough. Go ahead and press all the liquid out of the coconut and put it aside. Okay, so here are our ingredients for the coconut bread. You'll definitely need 4 cups of flour, 1 stick of butter, about 8 tablespoons, your shredded coconut, the milky water. You'll need 2 cups of brown sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I'm also going to be using raisins, cherries, 1 egg, and some vanilla essence. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is put your butter into the flour. So for this, you're going to cut the butter into pieces. This will make it easier to grind it and get it to melt into the flour. Now you want to make sure your hands are clean because for this part I'm going to be using my hands to just rub the butter into the flour until all of the butter has melted and dissolved into the flour. So it should look like this once you're done. You shouldn't see any pieces of butter. You shouldn't be able to feel any either. Next step, we're going to add our sugar and just mix that in. And you can do this part with your hand also. I'm just using a little Swizzler here just to have less contact with the hands. Next, I'm going to be adding my baking powder. Followed by the salt. Then the nutmeg. And we're going to go ahead and mix that all together. These are all of the dry ingredients. Once you finish mixing everything together, we can now add our raisins. As well as the cherries. Look at those bright red cherries. These make this dish very, very colorful and festive. So we're going to mix this together now. And once that's mixed in, we're going to add our star ingredient, and that's our coconut. So again, the finely grated texture here is going to really make the bread it's going to give it a grainy consistency, which I like. And you can also use the store-bought shredded coconut. That also works fine. In another bowl, put your egg and add about a drop or two of vanilla essence. Mix it together. Once you're done with that, we're going to be adding that to our dry mixture. So make like a little hole in the middle of your dry mixture and add the egg and vanilla essence. You're then going to get your milk that you had earlier from your coconut, and about a cup of that you're going to be adding it slowly. This is a very dry mixture, so you don't want too much moisture all at once. So we're going to add just enough milk or water very slowly to just bring all the flour and the rest of the dry ingredients together. So you can see I'm adding just a little bit more here at a time, just to bring it all together. You can see it's a very stiff, dry mixture, not too much moisture, but we want to get all of it mixed in so that there's no flour or anything exposed. So this is what it should look like when it's fully mixed. Cover and let sit for about 10 minutes. While that's sitting, you can go ahead and prepare your baking dishes. So I'm spraying some cooking oil, and then I'm going to pour in a little bit of flour. And I'm going to dust the bottom of the baking dish with the flour. This is a very important step to make sure that your coconut bread does not stick to the pan, and makes it easier for it to come out in the end. So it should look like this when you're done. So now we're ready to transfer our mixture into our baking dishes. Each of these dishes can hold about 3 large scoops of the mixture. And so we're going to try to get them evenly divided in our 2 baking dishes. Don't worry about how it looks in the baking dish. Once it's in the oven, it's going to level out. So we'll do the same thing with our second dish. Again, about 3 large spoonfuls of your mixture. And remember, when I was a little girl, this is the part where we would be eating the leftovers of our mixture once we put it in the baking dish. So this is what you should see once you're done, once you've put your mixture into your baking dishes. You can now bake it at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. After you're done, take your pot out, and then we're going to test it to see if it's done, either with a sharp knife or a fork like this. Looks like it's not quite done. We're going to put it back for about 2 minutes. Now we're going to try that again. Yep, you can see it's much stiffer. There's not much moisture, so our dish is done. I hope you try this and enjoy it. Now this just shows you how it comes out of the pan very easily because of our prep that we did earlier with the flour and this cooking spray. There you have it.